Yep.
Perfect. So everybody that's watching this, again, this is take two because for the last 5 minutes my microphone wasn't working. But I'm really happy to introduce you to Keegan. Again, I am incredibly proud of what he's achieved. Really, really done some serious bits, over the past 5 months working with us. And so, dude, take the floor, do your thing, introduce who you serve, what you do, and everything like that.
Yeah. So my name is Keegan. I'm 19 years old. My niche is real estate investment firms, and I help them get more investors. It's a very simple email marketing system. Simple as that. And it's not ads, even though I think EasyGrow has a lot of really, really good ad content, really in depth kind of analysis of that kind of stuff. All I really focused on was email. One skill I learned, and I mean, from one skill, I was able to make 42.5K in 1 month. So yeah, with yeah, ridiculous, bro. Just
Great. It's a
completely
great.
ridiculous.
Bro, tell the people how old you are as well.
Yeah, bro. 19. How it doesn't make sense, bro. I literally make as much as my teachers make in a year, even the decent level teachers in a month.
Mhm.
So I mean, I just finished school like I don't know, less than a year, about a year ago actually, and crazy year, crazy year.
And you know what's funny, man? I remember when we started talking when you were first going to come on board, you just like came out of your A levels and everything like that. Your teacher's telling you about going to uni and getting good grades, otherwise you probably wouldn't make any money or anything like that. And here you are. But um, so many questions, man, to dive into. But first, I want to look back, 5 months ago when you joined us. What were you feeling then? How long have you been doing the agency for? What kind of problems were you facing? And we'll go into a lot of detail.
Yeah, no, exactly. So about 5 months ago when I first joined the program, the kind of problems I had then was I could not book a single meeting for myself. I, for some reason, I was stuck to doing email. I really liked email for some reason. Don't know why. I just wouldn't leave it. I did some cold calls, I did DMs, did all that kind of stuff, but no success. Even on email, no success. No success anywhere. I think I booked one call over the last, like from that point, like the year before that, through email. One. It's ridiculous. So I obviously we had a call with me and my father about running the program. He was very reluctant the first time around, but the second time around, once I convinced him, but essentially, the reason why I was able to convince him is because we're paying an external agency to do it for us, crazily expensive. We just didn't know how to do. We didn't know how we're going to do it, and it was too expensive.
Mhm.
We had no way of progressing. Even the service we were offering required the ability to know how to do client acquisition. So that's why I joined the program. Literally, I just need to know that core skill, regardless of what business you go into. You need to know it. But yeah, that was a crux of my entire life for a year. It was just trying to get clients.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
dude, just to really quickly clarify, right? Like you started, you were working with your dad at that point in time, and then when you joined us, you launched your own agency on the side, right?
Yeah. So actually, weirdly enough, I only stopped working with him like a month and a half or two ago. But before then, I was still helping him every day, helping him get clients, helping myself somewhat get clients, but it was basically still part of the same business.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually working with consultants at then, but I don't know how you guys do it because the businesses are so different. It was also done for you for complete different, basically complete different niches. Like consultants is a niche, but it's so vastly different. So it was a complex as hell business. It was not working. I couldn't deliver results or book meetings for myself. It was just like I didn't even have a business at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And
then
just
obviously I
like
transitioned.
I just wanted to clarify that, right? Because now in terms of the 40K, like that was on your own. That was your own agency, right? Like separate from what you're helping your dad out on that side of things. Cool. So, dude, you've been doing it for a year. Before you joined us, had you done any other courses or anything like that? I know you guys were working with that agency that was charging you guys a ridiculous amount, but just in terms of courses, any of those?
So something really weird mentioned, but I actually had a year and a half ago was when I finished it. But before then, I did actually spent a whole year on a ring business, mental health ring business, whereas fidget rings, there was a course on that where they kind of gave you the kind of rundowns of how to manage people, how to take meeting minutes, um, how to do a bit of sales. So that was like, let's say, the beginning. After that, I, you know, through a friend, got Eman's course, which got me literally nowhere. That thing I thought it was really great, but actually got me nowhere. Through a friend. Um, After that, I did some online courses. I think there's a guy called Joel Kaplan or something on YouTube. I did his courses. They were okay. Again, didn't get me anywhere. Yeah, it was just like constant, like running on a treadmill, making literally no progress. Literally no
Yeah.
progress.
Right, man. So what was it that made you open to taking another course?
So obviously I saw some of Charlie's videos on YouTube. So it really gave me some, let's say, respect for him. And, I kind of knew he knew what he was talking about. Um, I knew that he was especially good at just client acquisition. I know, like, I think Joel Clapton or something has a course. I haven't thought about this in ages, but he has a course, but it's not really what I wanted to do. Some more of an agency thing. And it was more, I think, also like operations and that kind of thing, which wasn't my focus at that point. You guys were more like, we have everything from email, you have the Terminator Loom system, which literally never heard of before, which is crazy. I think that's actually how I booked the first call. So when we had our first sales call, after that, I took the idea of Terminator Loom, tried it myself, booked a call, and I was like, okay, these guys actually know what they're talking about. They must have a system to do this better than how I'm doing it because I was doing it very, very terribly.
Hmm.
Um, you guys are cold calling, DM. You had like these every let's say different outreach method mapped out, and I knew for a fact. And obviously, I mean, credits to you. You and I probably talked about this for a month after the fact of you closing me. Your confidence is unwavering. It is like you're stone cold. It's every time I try to like push you, try and get some like doubt out of you, just like straight face. No, it just works. So like I can let's say attribute some of it to Charlie, but really the confidence you had in closing me was like it was huge. Um, yeah,
And dude, I wanted to just take a moment to thank you as well because you took the program and you ran with it and you had obstacles coming up in the way and you found solutions and you looked for help and you were engaged and you squeezed every piece of juice out of that lemon. You know what I mean, man? You went for it. Um, and so, okay, when you joined the program, I know you switched niches, you switched offer, like you changed everything, right? And so, talk to me a little bit more about that process. What took you to the real estate investment niche, which is like very obscure, right? It's not your med spa or your gyms or your dentists or something like that. I want to hear more about that process and how you kind of got down to that point.
yeah, that's a really good question. So, firstly, in like the first module of the program is the acquisition genesis, and honestly, there's like two main things that taught me, two main like above everything else, at least for myself. First was how to actually create an offer, because before that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I thought was creating offers. I was just telling people words. So I learned actually how to create an offer. And from the feedback I got from Noor, which basically when you create your offer, you submit it to them and they give you feedback on why it's good, why it's not, things to improve, things to whatever. They give you a lot of good feedback on that, which is essentially what you're missing. You could create it on your own, but really the thing you're missing is the feedback cycles. So I created the offer, got feedback that the niche I was going after was very broad and too complex, etc. And then the second thing about acquisition genesis that really, really helped was the controlling your emotions, looking at everything very logically. Because, and it's, probably not the most masculine, cool thing to say, but essentially I let and even to this day, I have to consciously think about it. I let my emotions take control of my decision making at time in terms of my campaign is running, let me change everything up, where I should really let it run, change one variable at a time, etc. And it taught me really that logical process. But through going to the logical process, booking some meetings with that niche. I didn't change out of the niche because I couldn't book meetings or whatever. I did 60 sales calls I booked for myself in that niche. So I ended up figuring out cold email to an extent, booked 60 sales calls, didn't close a single one. Not a single one I closed. Months of sales calls, nothing ended up working. And then we ended up closing. Well, I didn't actually end up closing. My father, who also did some sales calls, he ended up closing like three of them. And we realized is that we can't deliver for them. No matter how good we are at what we're doing, the consulting niches, unless you okay, infra product and you can let them run it with themselves, it's very complex of a business. It's very hard to run, very hard to guarantee results. It's a very, very hard business. And so how I got into real estate investment firms, which I'm really lucky for this, to be honest. But my father was working with a real estate investment firm in the US and he was doing consulting for them. And we guaranteed, not based on like we're going to get the money back, we essentially, the goal for them was to get them 50 meetings with investors.
Mhm.
We had no idea how we were going to do it. But that lead gen guy we had working, helping us, he started booking meetings with them. We're like, okay, that's interesting, right? and it was working, and it worked well, better and better and better. Right now, by the way, I don't have the client anymore. They took our systems and they ran with it because it was working so well. But anyways, um, yeah. So okay, so we're getting results with this guy. There's a lot more firms like this. Let me look into that. So okay, I found other firms. I was like, okay, I took the copy that Nabil helped me create. By the way, Nabil is the cold email coach in the program. Again, videos are great, lovely, but the real value, and I think I told you this, Vince. I think after a month, I didn't know about the coaching things, but after that month, I found out about the coaches. They gave me insanely good feedback. This is why we're creating the copy like this. This is why we said this. This is why the offer's like this. This is why the call to action is like this. Don't send an email like this. Use this domain, provide like everything. Every minute thing was laid out to me and why it's like that, which was insane. But I basically took the ideas and the framework that Nabil gave me, and which I was using for consultants, changed it up so it fit the investment niche with what they once saw, with what their problems were, etc. And it didn't work. I spent about 2 months trying to book meetings. I didn't book a meeting. Went from a working system to not. So then it became again 2 months of just absolute nothing's gonna work, things are terrible, doubts. What the hell am I doing? I'm wasting my life. I mean, maybe I should get a job. Even my girlfriend was telling me maybe you should get a job. Like if this doesn't work out, so you can improve there, and then you come back to this later on. It was like it's hard to explain how much doubt and how much because there's no guarantee of success. Bro. At that point, it's like there's no surefire. You're gonna get this thing's gonna work out. It might not. But after actually Nabil got on private calls with me to help me through this problem, messaged me back and forth on program on like the community chat. And eventually I figured out it was not only my email servers, not only my leads, not only the whole thing was trash. The whole thing was garbage. From start to finish, it was trash. So went to Outlook emails. He helped me fix my copy, got me a new set of leads. And I don't know if I'm skipping too fast in this,
Go for it.
but about a month ago, once everything was in line, pressed start on the campaign, sent 2,000 emails, 2,200 emails in one day, and I booked 16 calls in one day. I don't know. Can I share my screen in this? Or is that
Yeah, you can show your screen, man. That's cool.
let me do that. This is gonna just to illustrate this point of it's like you have no idea if things are gonna work out. Need 2 seconds. Current self. This is part of the program in terms of mapping your current self and changing your beliefs and whatnot. So I did that as well. Perfectly exactly where I wanted to be. So at this point, but before this whole booking thing happened, this is where I was at, booking 0 calls for a month, not even running email campaigns because things weren't working out. Like I had to get new leads, and where do I get leads from? And too expensive and everything, right? I thought the crux of my life was to book 3 sales calls in one day for that consulting niche, right? And then basically this idea that you explain in the program is that you flip the floor, which essentially your peak moments, which is like booking 3 sales calls in one day, should be your bare minimum, and you don't accept anything less than that. So now there's this thing called mapping your evolving self, where I was thinking, okay, booking 3 sales calls in one day is basically impossible. I got to reduce it to 2 at least. And I thought the best I could ever achieve was 5 sales calls in one day. Then in one day, broke me completely out of that mindset. 16 sales calls in one day. The even on the weekend, I was booking like 5 sales calls a day. On the Monday, I sent another 2,200. I basically had my next 2 weeks of calendar filled up completely. Actually, I'll even show you my calendar. Let me go back. Let me go back in time. I don't know what's on my calendar, but no. Yep. So this is when I started running my campaigns on this day here. This is my next week. All of these are sales calls. This is the week after. Okay, the week after was a little bit less, but I had to actually dial back the meetings because I just had too many sales, too many things going on. Actually, from this one week, I did the math. I did 7 sales from just the sales calls this one week.
Damn.
Then this week, the reason why I had to slow down is onboarding calls, onboarding, client fulfillment, everything just went crazy. So yeah, I am closing too much, and then I had to figure out the fulfillment problem. But yeah, 16 sales calls in one day, booking like 5 over the weekend, another like 10 on Monday, and then I was like, okay, I actually stopped the email system. I put it down to like 150 emails a day,
Uh-huh.
just to like satisfy. So it makes sense. Um,
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. If I told you during the sales call, dude, you're gonna be booking too many meetings and you're gonna have to stop, you're gonna be like, this guy, come on, what is he even saying? And then that's what happened, man, which is crazy. I guess then came like the sales problems, right? And you're in the sales coaching calls and you were getting help. And I remember that I was coaching you through that, week in, week out, along with Jack, along with Seb on that side of things. Um, Talk to us about the sales after you kind of got the appointments dialed in.
So obviously I said I had about 60 sales calls with the consulting niche and didn't close a single one. When I went to the investment niche, didn't get any better. I had another 30 sales calls when I didn't close a single one. Awful, just awful. I don't know why people just kept asking for references and like individual numbers on email campaign and this and this. Also, literally constantly to speak to someone, didn't believe me, didn't like the lead quality, didn't every objection in the book that I didn't know how to handle, they gave me everything. So, and this probably wasn't the best thing to do, but I didn't even go through the sales thing to the full extent on the course. I did until the editing your script, like creating your actual sales script. But after that, it was only calls with you, Seb, and Jack that improved me. Like even Jack is actually a G for this, but essentially, he on a call, there were no more questions left, and I said, "Okay, can you help me with my pitch?" He's like, "No, no, no problem. Keegan, unmute your mic, do your pitch in front of everyone." But 30 people, I couldn't breathe, stuttering, but I grew hugely from that. I got really in-depth good advice. Actually, I got advice from my pitch from Jack, from Seb. Seb recorded a personal video, about a 5-minute video going through my pitch, why it's good, why it's not, what to improve, etc. Um, Gave my sales calls to you guys, he's telling me what I'm doing wrong. Literally week to week, I had like bullet points on this little notepad I have right here on what to improve, what's wrong, etc. And I actually don't know what it was, but I went from 30 sales calls again, like people so skeptical of me, asking for references, to almost like one day after I don't know something must have clicked into place, but I haven't been asked for reference in weeks. I haven't been asked for lead quality. I like destroyed that objection. I obliterated it every time they go, okay, okay, never mind, that makes sense. Um, my conviction in the sales calls are uncanny. I literally had one guy on the sales call go from, I don't like cold email, it's dangerous like GDPR, etc., etc. So at the end of the call, and I quote said, "You have such a big dick." Like I'm not even joking. And I'm talking. This is 40 to 60-year-old guys who have been doing real estate investments for 20 years,
Yeah.
who manage hundreds of millions to billions of real estate property. I, it's just I don't know, bro. It's still actually till this day I'm trying to figure out why it twitched like so 180, but it's working. It's all I know.
That guy's quote has gone in your vision board, hasn't it?
100%, dude. 100%.
So yeah, on that side of things, man, another reason why it's a pretty tough niche, right? Because you're dealing with older guys, right? They're in the financial sectors. They're direct, they're blunt, they're abrasive. They don't care about hurting your feelings. They'll put it on the table as it is. And
Mhm.
so to everybody watching this, there's a lesson to learn, not just about how great our program is and everything like that, but about your character, man. You charged into it without knowing the details, right? You booked 60 calls, you didn't close any, you booked 30 and you were dealing with these objections, but you were figuring it out on the go, as opposed to being the guy like, I need to get everything in place so I don't have those awkward moments. You just went for it, man. And
And it's
it's funny
especially bad.
because
Yeah,
and I
sorry, sorry.
used I used to be that guy, man. I used to be really overweight, and my friends were like, "Come to the gym," and I was like, "No, I'll go to the gym when I lose some weight, just so I'm not embarrassed to go to the gym." You know, that's like I
Yeah,
was that guy.
it doesn't make sense.
But you charged into it, man, and you used it to the most. You went through those challenges, and you were figuring it out as you went along. And so that's why it was so rewarding to coach you in terms of sales, because we were telling you things and you were going and you were implementing it, right? There were some points that we had to beat in over multiple sessions. But it came and it came, and now you're jumping in there, you're confident. Guys that are 55 years old are complimenting your penis size. Like, come on,
Bro,
bro.
it's it's actually insane. But yeah, just so you know, I have no, or a month ago especially, I had zero idea about investment, anything. People got on the call saying, "Oh yeah, we're a 5 or 6C Yeah, just we do some CRE plus we have about the 8% cash on cash returns and yeah, but actually we decided to do an 8% cash on cash and a 2% pref and I'm just like nothing's going in my head. I have absolutely no idea what is going on. Seriously, no idea. But I still did the calls. During the call, I thought I was writing notes about them. I was writing down keywords I need to go research after the fact. Um, yeah, completely out of my out of the water. Now, people on the calls ask me advice, and I genuinely give them good advice because I know for a fact I have the data on returns to give the investors, on how to pitch themselves, on pitch decks, everything. Because I've seen enough people, I've done the research because of the fact I just went straight in there, got one-to-one real life kind of advice of people who are already managing billions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you so much access working in that niche as well for the future, for your future investments, for your future collaborations with the network. You're going to serve these people so well that you're going to make lifelong connections, man. And you take care of them, they take care of you, and not just with your fat retainers, man. Like, what are you charging? It's like 2.5, 5K. Is that what it was at?
So funny story actually, just in this note. Nabil one day was talking to me about, oh yeah, I got this one real estate investment firm that came inbound to me and asked to work with me. And he's like, guess what? I charge 1.5K a month retainer. And he has $100 million assets under management. I was like, okay, so one of the small guys. When I tell you that, okay, maybe I'm not going to out this niche, but people have money. That's all I'm going to say. People have a ton of money. When I tell people it's 4 grand, 5 grand just to work with me, they go, oh, 4 grand. Oh, okay. Yep. It doesn't phase them at all. If they're lost at 4K, if their bank account dropped by 4K, 5K, 10K, yep. So right now, I started off by charging, so a couple of them are 1K, a couple 2.5, a 3. But the past like 5 I've closed or something, or 6 or whatever, it's been 4 or 5K per client.
That's what we are telling you on sales calls. You're like, should I do per appointment? Should I do this? And we're like, retainer, 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 retainer. And I think it took like 2 weeks to get it into you, and here you are,
Yep.
man. And dude, that's only gonna go up with the more testimonials you have in place, the more social proof. Dude, you're definitely gonna be at 10K a month in no time all per retainer on that side of things.
Yeah, yeah. I
10
was just 10K
clients
a month. I was like, only.
per retainer, right? So you get
Yeah.
10 clients, you're at 100K a month,
Interesting.
and that's not even doesn't even touch the surface,
The
right?
value I can provide to these people, because basically, again, I don't know out my niche, but they have no idea what they're doing in terms of client acquisition. And if I can get no appointments to the right people, fix the sales, essentially doing what EasyGrow is doing
Mm-hmm.
with this one niche in particular, give them sales calls, fix their sales processes, nurturing sequences, everything. If I can fix it all up, I'm easily worth 10K a month,
Mm-hmm.
easily per client. Yeah,
And I think the point being here is like for people watching, it's like don't go and do the same thing, but take the lessons that got you there instead, right? Where you were looking at what's around you, the connections that you had, thinking about where you could add value, and then you ended up with something super unique, right? And now you're ahead of everyone. You've already got your clients, you've got that first mover advantage. Um, because I know, didn't you start in like the MedSpa niche something like a year and a half ago? So let's go back. Let's go back into the past as well, because a lot of people are in that position, right, where they go with one of the like I don't know TikTok niches that they see people out there, where they make 100K a month just sitting on the beach, you know what I mean, on their laptop and wearing a Rolex and stuff like that. But go for it.
I was traumatized by the MedSpa niche, traumatized. And maybe I shouldn't be saying this here, but when you follow MedSpa accounts on Instagram, they post a lot of really overweight women, especially because that's most people that go to med spas. And I literally had nightmares about obese women. That's not an exaggeration. Genuine nightmares. Every time I opened up an Instagram, it was just again barely clothed women that were really overweight. I hated it. I had one client in that niche, very sweet woman, very, very sweet woman, but they were very hard to close. Again, maybe it's because I'm just bad at sales. I was bad at sales, and I'm still not the best. Um, very hard to close. They're very like tight in terms of the money, very skeptical. I didn't like doing the ad creatives, and again, I don't like ads. I don't like doing all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was actually doing cold calls to get that one client I got. I did tons and tons of cold calls, receptionists all the time. I got like one man bands here. I couldn't even sell them on a pen, like pay on results only. Like literally only once people give you money, I take like 2% of that and they weren't even happy with it. It was, yeah, I don't know. It was again, when you're there, it is terrible. It is like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like you're so far behind in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience, in terms of everything, that you're literally behind a mountain.
No.
Um, yeah.
That being said, man, just to challenge you a little bit, like some of it was a niche. The vast majority was like your skill set at the time, right? And
Yep.
I know because I've been in that position, man. Not to get into details in this interview, but I've been in positions where I was like really out of depth, just struggling to see the light and going to bed, just literally having nightmares. For you, it was the whatever you said it was earlier. And for me, I waking up in cold sweats and being there, man. But in terms of the business, right now, I want to take it back to EasyGrow because you probably forgot, pretty much everything else that you did before. It's been very intense. Walk me through a day to day, man. How many hours are you working on this? Like, how are you splitting things down? Like, what does it look like?
I think I just thought about this the other day in terms of like hours worked. Um, it's hard to think about it like that because you're always thinking about it. You're always working in your mind, really. Like even when I'm at gym, I'm thinking, okay, I could try this angle with the email campaign. If I split test the sending platforms versus the email servers versus the call to actions, and then this lead list here from this platform, and then this certain position in the company, I'm constantly thinking about that kind of thing. And that is the work at the end of the day. A lot of times actually just thinking and planning and strategizing essentially. I do need to work on stopping working at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at night because it's like wake up, work until I sleep. Um, yeah, man. I mean, like working hours are just kind of constant. I mean, even the weekends, on Saturdays, I have calls booked with Nabil, a couple of the business guys. It's just so I can plan, help them, they can help me. I don't know, bro. It's pretty much always working. Uh, it's not like it's not what you'd imagine as hard work and like cold calling for hours and hours and hours. It's more of just planning and trying to just make good decisions. And I
Mhm.
think that at least point right now, that's slightly more important. I think beforehand, before I started booking calls myself, I think at that point, you do need just straight up do as much as you can, watch all the videos you can on a certain, let's say, outreach method, try it, see why it's not working, when the processes stop working, try and get your metrics. Metrics are so important. I need to start tracking it for my sales. Metrics are so important, especially with cold email. It is the crux of everything. But yeah, you said what working hours yours something else or
Yeah,
what?
pretty much working out what the days look like, but that makes sense. What would you say was the hardest thing in going through the program, man? Maybe in terms of the actual program or just in terms of like kind of your reaction to it.
In terms of actual, let's say the video part of the program, because obviously there's the coaches side of it, like the calls, whatnot. In terms of the actual video side, the videos are long. The videos they're long, but they're really, really useful. And I actually need to go back to the videos because the amount of value that I will gain now again after more experience. But they're really long, but if you really, really focus into them, especially a lot of the mindset ones, because I've really struggled with mindset for a while, it can take you an extremely long way. But again, I think it's just I got stuck quite a few times on, okay, I've got a 3 hour video. I need to go through this. Vince told me I need to go through this. So I need to listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. And it was just a little bit long, but worth it. So it's not like you're going to be handed, he has 100 grand and a silver platter. Obviously it's not. And you shouldn't expect that to be ever. Um, but yeah, other than that, the course it showed me so, like the depth of knowledge and understanding was so beyond anything I even thought of. Even after being in business for like a year at that point, I knew nothing. I literally know nothing compared to what that course can provide. I can go back to the course 10, 20 times and I would learn so much more every time. So, yeah.
And just that if you were going to go back, knowing what you know now, if you're going to speed run it again, what would you have done differently, man? Because there were a couple of things that you did that occupied you for a long time where you weren't getting results, right? So knowing what you know now, how would you have tackled it different? I know going to the coaching earlier is definitely one of them because we talked about it, right? You were like a month or two and you didn't go to a single coaching call, right? Like you didn't really understand how much value would be given in that. But I
Mhm.
don't want to put words in your mouth, man. So if you're going to go back for a beginning to speed run it to get results even quicker, what would you do?
By far, the single biggest thing is I would do my best. 'Cause basically, they're very nice people, right? That are getting results, they're making 10K a month, whatever. But I never had the goal of 10K a month. It felt too generic, so I put it more than that. But essentially, I would find people who are already achieving what you want to do, and I would like say, hey man, not make 100K a month. I mean like 10K, or getting sales calls or something, or doing some fulfillment or whatever you're stuck with next. I'd find those people. I would beg them to help you, and they will, in like an hour, pick out the 10 things you're doing wrong that you didn't even know you're doing wrong, and give you the right answer to it. So, and they can also tell you why. So you can go from completely being lost, don't know why things aren't working, to jumping through. For example, I'm really making a lot of use of this myself right now. Speaking to the coaches in the program, again, Nabil, I speak to the guy too much at this rate, but the expertise and depth of knowledge these kinds of guys have are so beyond me. I'm just basically cherry picking the stuff that replies to me. If I started doing that a year ago, I'd be at a complete different place right now. I'd be so much better in terms of my knowledge, in terms of revenue, I guess. But that's why it didn't work. Because obviously, if I go back, I don't have exactly the knowledge I have right now, and a lot of the knowledge is somewhat is applied or somewhat copied. It's like copied ideas, if that makes sense. Not necessarily actually email, like an actual email, but in terms of an idea of how to write it. If I had those ideas beforehand, it'd be great, but obviously I didn't. But I know the fast way to get those ideas now is just go straight to the source.
Hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, EasyGrow is a great, easy way to do that.
I get it, man. And I think now we can talk about the next steps, right? Because you're not going to call it an early retirement at 40K a month or 42K a month. So where are you going to take it from here, man?
If I get a good grips on performance, because right now, I mean, it's not all glory, to be honest with you. I don't people this kind of transparent. It is extremely stressful right now. Some of my campaigns, deliverability is crashed, 3% open rates. Not an exaggeration, 3%. Um, These are not being booked for my clients. So essentially, next steps right now is core of literally every make waking moment I'm doing right now is getting meetings booked for my clients. Once that's sorted, then I can improve the operations of my business. So I have a client tracker that's more improved. Again, I even got help from a client tracker, actually by Seb helped me create a client tracker, um, and SOPs. So now, okay, now I'm more operationalizing the business, right? After that, I can sign more clients because I can keep track of everyone better. I've onboarded, let's say, that this current 15 clients, so they can be running fine, not needing my help. I can get a new set of 15, for instance. Again, now with a process that like an SOP of how to onboard them, a way to manage them properly. And then on top of that, once I've got this, let's say, core level of the business, which is booking them appointments, I can go, okay, you're on closing appointments. Let's improve the sales process. Let's find the clients who's closed the most deals, ask them questions, give them money if I have to, deliver for free if I have to, you know, whatever I have to do to get them to, give me the source essentially. They duplicate across all the clients. So I essentially, the value I can provide is got different levels. First, booking appointments, then sales calls, then nurturing campaigns for the people who booked a call or were interested but didn't end up essentially investing. Um, I can help them get more investment from the past investors. I can help them hire salespeople. I can get them like I can get a third party that helps train up and hire salespeople. So I can give these recent investment firms their time back. There's so many levels in here that I can improve and so much more value I can provide. I'm literally at like level 0 at this point. Um, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. That's probably a lot of yapping.
It's dialing it in before you scale when you do different things, essentially, right?
Exactly.
I think we can sit down at the end of the year and you'll definitely be at 100,000 a month, man. But 15 clients
I
is
think
that
it's easy to be honest.
15 clients? Is that how many you are?
I'm at 15 clients right now. Not all of them at like 4 or 5K. Again, the earlier ones were less.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like when I say this sounds kind of egotistical, but even saying 100K by the end of the year, if I'm only at 100K by the end of the year, it's literally me slacking. And I know that sounds crazy, but for comparison, if I have those 8 sales calls a day for the next month, I could be at 100K.
Yeah.
So the constraint right now is fulfillment. So once I literally just bare minimum fix the appointment booking system and my clients getting consistent meetings, and I've got a system to make sure they're happy, helped, manage them, I can just scale. And the market's big enough, I've got money. So yeah, there's literally nothing stopping me. Seriously, there's nothing stopping me. And I can book appointments myself. So I mean, I think a very, very important idea that I've stuck to recently, and I think it's been very valuable for people, but you focus on only what is the most important thing right now. Only. For instance, at the start, I couldn't book appointments myself. Didn't care about sales, only focus on booking appointments. Only. Then booked appointments, focus on sales only. Then I closed clients. Obviously, I carry on closing clients in the meantime, but even while I was closing them and my sales conversion rate was okay, done. Not trying to optimize, not trying to get double my sales conversion rate. I'm fine. I can book appointments. I don't have to worry. I can churn through leads a little bit. Right now, only focus is booking more appointments. I have so much back end to build out. There's no point if they're not booking appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's no point in, oh, when I sign a client, I actually had a friend who was going, oh, what if I sign a client? How do I fulfill for it? You'll figure it out. I know for a fact I'll figure it out before the guarantees for them hit, before whatever. I'll make a plan. Things will work out because I've done it before. But yeah, biggest thing is literally focus on the most important thing at this current moment.
I think that ties me into what I want to conclude on. Because it took me a while to close you, right? It was a couple of months from our first sales call until we actually made it happen. Now, what would you say to somebody that's on the fence, right? Like they want to do it, but maybe it's fear, maybe it's the anxiety, the unknown coming up. What would you tell those people, man, that are sitting on the fence at the moment?
Again, the biggest thing that changed the trajectory for me was having someone that gives you good feedback, like the feedback cycles. Because right now, your feedback cycles are extremely long, they're not clear. You don't have a process of having good feedback cycles, even with your own metrics. You maybe don't even know what metrics even means, depending on who's listening to this. So you need help from someone else. And EasyGrow is a small part of it, in my opinion, is the videos. A large part of it is the people. I mean, the normal people in the community will help you, and you can ask questions, they'll help you. But the coaches and whatnot, that is infinitely valuable. Infinitely valuable. I mean, at this point, I've hardly even paid EasyGrow that much compared to how much I've made. I made already like 15x of what I paid them.
Which is
So,
insane, man.
but again, the value of this stays stays with you for the rest of your life, and you're basically investing in yourself. And it's honestly worth just getting out literally a loan if you need to. It's worth doing whatever you can to at least get it, at least try to get in the first month. To like you'll figure it out. You can download the videos into your brain in the first month. Like you just absorb every ounce of that knowledge. Go join every coaching call, even if you don't know what your hell's going on, and you'll speed up your progression insanely. So it's you're basically doubting if you basically doubting joining this kind of community. I mean, even I had a bit of fear. I mean, as you maybe remember, but you essentially need to bet on yourself, and there's no one else going to bet on yourself except for you. And you either join the community and things will go great. You can not join the community, carry on struggling for like how I did another 6 months, or you can take the leap and worst case you're down 1,600 pounds or whatever, and you can work a job to get that back with not that long. It's not like this crazy big risk.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Exactly, man. And I think so many people, like I did, like you were maybe doing like your friends did, will go to university and I'll put 9.2K down every single year. And then they have to work out to pay that off. But dude, I want to conclude it at that point. It's been fucking brilliant to speak with you. It's got to be one of the best testimonial videos, and you're going right up at the top of that page. I know that you're
I
quite
hope so.
excited about beating Eric up there, right?
Yeah. Sorry about that
So
though.
for whoever's watching this, the position that Keegan's in right now, that will be you in 6 years if you have the courage to do it. and you put in the work and you have the humility to ask for help when you don't understand something, and you just go for it and figure it out on the run. So we're gonna end it right here, and dude, we're gonna have a little chat after this and just a little wrap. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Cheers.
very much.